Hello everyone, today we're gonna work this MOHAWK burst fade haircut with a concave layer on the top, a cross graduation on the back and a burst fade on the side. We're gonna start by dividing the top panel into a natural triangular section, and right after that we're gonna start drawing our circular dark line for our fade. That is gonna be the base of our haircut and the base of our fade. Essentially, we should see this initial guideline that we are creating with our scissors as the transition point from the scissor work on top to the clipper work below this line. So this line should represent number 3. So it's circa 1 centimeter, which is the width of my finger and the space between the fingers and the scalp. We're gonna repeat now the same job on the other side of our burst fade. As you can see now, we are starting and proceeding to cross graduate the back of our head to give that vibe of a mohawk towards the back of the head. Essentially, the cross graduation will help us to create a shape that horizontally is triangular and longer in the middle, and vertically will build up weight towards the top. Do not forget to increase the over direction towards the end of our back panel, since the head starts shifting inside, and so the length needed will be much more to create more weight into the back and the crown area. Since we're shifting from a short back and sides haircut to a mohawk look, we need to create a little bit of transition from the cross graduation to the old clipper work that we have. We don't want to see any type of gap between the two works, the old one and the new one, and that's why it's needed a transition with scissors over comb to smoothen that up as much as possible. Once we finished with the back, we move towards the top, and the first thing we're gonna do is gonna split the top in two sides, push and over direct each half on the side with an elevation of circa 90 degrees to connect the top panel to the side panel with our technique of perimetering the top. We're gonna now check the fringe. Since we used an over direction technique towards the side, the fringe should be slightly more pointy in the middle, which is not what we need. Also because we're gonna go with concave layer on top, and that wouldn't match the rest of the haircut. We're gonna start now creating the center guideline to start developing our vertical shape of the top, which in this case is gonna be squared vertically, and then we're gonna push each half, the remaining halves of the top, into the middle part to create a concavity. Essentially, the most external part of the head will have to travel more to reach the center, and so it's gonna be longer and it's gonna be heavier. So once we're gonna push the hair forward, the hair is gonna result a little bit more heavy in the corner, and so we will be able to reach a more squared and creative look. Here we are, you can see we're gonna just push everything towards the first one, and we're just gonna cut all of them into the center. We're gonna then apply some sea salt and give a very gentle blow dry with our diffuser, and then we're gonna leave mostly wet the hair to let the hair dry naturally. We're gonna then start with our number 3 to touch up the line that we created earlier. I want to pass number 3 and not 1.5 open in this case, because I want the darkness to be quite dark. I want a very smooth fade. I don't want to see any line. Essentially, I normally go with 1.5 open when I want to leave a more severe line on the dark area, whether when I want a softer and smoother transition between the side and the top, I go with number 3, which is gonna leave the darkness much darker and so less line. We're gonna now start with our 1.5 open to catch up number 3 and to start to create our first transition on the fade from 1.5 to 3, so a dark transition. We're gonna finally start creating our dark line with our trimmer to start to create the base of the light area of our burst fade. Do not forget that this is a medium fade, so not too extended, and that means that I'm gonna leave 2 fingers distance between the darkness and the lightness of our fade. That is called the extension. I always like to frame up my work before starting with the fade, so I know where to leave the darkness to make sure that when I'm gonna work with the C-cup technique, I'm gonna not take off too much darkness towards the perimeter, and that will allow me to make the fade pop up with the darkness without using any enhancement and just by leaving some length of the hair. We're gonna now pass the shaver throughout all the edges where we passed the trimmer earlier to remove most of the darkness and the little hair that we left with the trimmer. Always remember that the shaver is a very close tool to be gentle with it, and also never to go and touch the other line directly, or it's going to be harder after to cancel and to remove the line of our shaver. We're gonna finally start with the last of our 3 guidelines. The dark line is the top one, the one we done with number 3 in the beginning. The light one is the bottom one, the one we've done with the trimmer earlier. And now the third is the midline, which is gonna be done with the guardless clipper with the lever open to create this transitional line, which is normally in between 1/3 and 1/2 of our extension of the fade. So essentially, let's say if we had 2 centimeters, I'm placing it at 0.7 centimeter right now. So at circa a third of our fade, I just want to make sure that the 0.5 doesn't go too high, because as we mentioned earlier, I want my blend to be slightly softer, and so I want the darkness to smooth through the whole haircut. Whether if I wanted something that looks a bit more tight and so with a stronger contrast, I would have gone with my half line a little bit higher, like half of the sides. We're gonna then now start with one guard open. I'm gonna start creating the transition between the 1.5 open and the 1 guard open from the midline towards the dark line. We're gonna work this with a descending technique, which means we're gonna drop guards and the lever. We're gonna go 1.5, 1 open, 1 close, 0.5 open, 0.5 close, until we cancel the line from the dark line to the midline. We finally now gonna put our guardless clipper once again with the lever open to finish the transition on the darkness of our fade. We're gonna cancel that little line with the corner of our clipper, so we're not gonna go flat. We're just gonna gently clean up the line and gently make the transition a bit smoother. We're gonna now start with our soft zero, and so with the guardless clipper with the corner to cancel the initial guideline of the light line that we created with the trimmer. Again, very gentle strokes, the space we have is very little, and also mind that the frontal area, the area where we left the darkness for our C cup, needs extreme attention to make sure that we're gonna leave, yes, the darkness, but no lines and nothing too heavy that is gonna make it look like we left some hair by mistake. We're gonna then open the zero guard of 1 dot, then 2 dots. So we're gonna place the lever in the middle to keep transitioning from the shortest to the longest. This is called ascending technique. So we're gonna go from the shortest to the longest until the transition is completed. I'm gonna finish now the blend by going freestyle with our 0.5 guard. In this case, I'm using Gamma's guards, and Gamma's guards, the 0.5 are called zero guards, and we're just gonna open and close to finish up the transition and to clean up every single little dark spot to make the fade as smooth as possible. As you can notice, when we go freestyle, there is not a rule. Literally, here is where the experience comes out and where the experience makes a difference. You just kind of have to check every dark spot and understand which guard is correct to remove that darkness. In this case, 0.5 is doing the job, but sometimes I have to lower the lever to hit the right spot. What I always recommend is to start always a little bit longer. Let's say if you feel like that's a 0.5, that darkness, go with a number 1 first to be safe, because obviously you don't want to ruin all your fade right now with a big white patch in the middle. So be safe, but again, here is all a matter of going gradually and cleaning up every single detail to make the fade pop out at its best. we gently gonna clean up any leftovers from the trimmer line with the corner of the trimmer. If you've been following my job for a while, you know that I do not leave a fade without finishing it with my scissors. I always feel like my scissors are needed to clean up the hardest part and to create transition on the darkness that the clipper won't allow me to. The scissor is a single stroke tool, so helps me to keep the maximum control over every single stroke and every single detail. That's why I always choose the scissors to finish up my job. The only scissors that I use in every single haircut you've seen on my online academy and every single haircut you see me doing in the barbershop is the scissors that I developed with Aquila Scissors, my signature line called AMIGHETTI 01. You can find the link below the video with the scissors, with the pricing and the size and all the details about it. We're gonna now start to do the other side, and we're gonna repeat the same process step by step on this side too. We're gonna then finish it up with a touch up with the razor just to make the sharpest look on the perimeters. We're gonna then apply some styling powder to create a little bit more of texture now that the hair dried itself naturally. And this is the final look, a burst faded forward curls look. Hope you liked it. I'll see you to the next video.